Welcome to Mr. Wallen's neighborhood. Here we are in the Superstition Mountains in Arizona. Behind me is a rad landmark called Weaver's Needle. We're gonna make a cocktail here. We just did a pretty gnarly hike to get up here with a lot of weight, so we need a little refreshment. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna riff a Negroni, and we're gonna start out by using some gin. So this is St. George gin. This is London style dry gin for all intents and purposes, not from London. We're gonna go 3/4 of an ounce here. We're gonna do equal parts on this Negroni, but it's usually a 1-1-1, and this time we're gonna do 3/4, 3/4, 3/4. So this is Vermouth Routin. This is a dry vermouth from France. We're gonna use 3/4 of an ounce of this dry vermouth. Next, I gotta get my bitter component in there. So basically, what we're doing is we're building a Negroni slightly. We're ripping it a little bit, and like I said, we're gonna add an ingredient that's not typical. So typically in a Negroni, what you're gonna find is gin, vermouth, and some sort of a bitter component. Usually it's Campari, right? So what I'm gonna use this Salers Apertif liqueur. This also comes from France. This is a bitter root. Gentian is a bitter root. We're gonna use 3/4 of an ounce here. And then the last ingredient that I'm gonna use is this Ciccio Figili. This is a Finocchietto, so it's a, I might be pronouncing that wrong to be totally honest with you. My Italian is not that tight. But anyways, this is a Fennel liqueur. I don't know if you know what Fennel is. If you don't know what Fennel is, this is Fennel. Fennel is a vegetable, has a kind of a black licorice flavor profile to it. So what we're doing here essentially is we're making ourselves a Fennel Negroni, 3/4 of an ounce. Now I'm gonna add ice. And as you can see, we're upgrading. I got my ice right in here. Looks like I got a sack of weed right here too. Just kidding, it's mint. It's mint. But our state's legal, so I could have it if I wanted to, you know what I'm saying? Oh boy, there's a nice big cube. So always add your ice with your hand. I'm just kidding, don't. My hand's clean, I just cleaned it. Plus the only guys that are drinking are these two guys up here, and they're just gonna have to face the facts on this one. All right, so we're gonna give this a stir for some dilution. A little more dilution. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll kind of touch my glass, and as I can feel the coolness of the glass kind of come up, then I can kind of decide the dilution. After being as old as I am and doing this for as long as I have, I kind of tell just by looking when the dilution's right. But the key is I want that water in there because that's gonna help to balance out all the other flavor profiles in there. So now I'm gonna take my cocktail glass, wiped it out, it's pretty awesome, still had some sand in there from Glamis. And we're gonna add to our cocktail glass. I didn't wanna add the ice just yet because I'm gonna use some Fennel for a garnish. So what I'm gonna do is cut this Fennel. Lose control over there. We're gonna add this Fennel on the edge right here like this. And then we're gonna add some Fennel Frond. But first, I'm gonna take one of these large ice cubes. Got 2 of them, so let's be fresh, add 2 of them. And add a little Fennel Frond on top here. I'm gonna take my, where'd you go, lemon? I'm gonna take my lemon here. Probably won't add the lemon to the garnish, but I do need to get a little bit of citrus oil on there for this all to balance nicely. So add that citrus oil. pack it in, pack it out, you know what I mean? All right, so we've got this cocktail. Get this stuff out of the way here. And I've got this beautiful Fennel Negroni. Voila. Cheers.